Here's the edge of town, of a town that I used to live in for 1 year, I think a year and a half actually. Uh, and one thing I miss is Sonic. That's the restaurant where they come out. In some places they wear rollerblades or skates, sorry, or whatever. No, not roller. I don't know what they are called. Roller, the one with the four wheels and whatnot. They never used to have this there, a play place or whatever, or a child thing or whatever. But I've been here a couple times. 99-cent sun drop. Looks like they're promoting that sun drop back in 2018. But what's it called? I remember they had that Route 44, I believe it was called, because Jericho used to say, "Go down to Sonic and get you a Route 44" in school all the time. And so I definitely tried it. Same, my dad bought me a breakfast burrito there, and they're big, hefty burritos. Breakfast burritos. And one kid back when at the middle school dance had bought me a burger before. And also one time my dad bought me the sour or Texas toast burger there a few times. I think out in another town. We didn't just eat at that one. There's also one in the other town. And the town's a relatively large town, much larger than that Teeswater. And it goes all the way around here. That was what made me move to that Teeswater, where I had gotten into trouble. Not trouble, but I had to fight a court case. Because I remembered Linden, and I said, oh, why not? It almost reminded me of Linden, but I didn't know how small it was in comparative. My dad also used to bring me a few times, and Nikki. We went to Fred's a few times. And where's that Mexican restaurant? Is that over here? Here it is. Mi Pueblito. I don't know. But that's the restaurant we ate at one time. It was really good. And I think that's where somebody's basement flooded out at one time too. But yeah, I lived out here for 1.5 years. George Richardson's must be over this way because I remember that when we first moved in, we were at one of the places, and Nikki, my stepmother, I guess, by law, I guess, said to me, I usually always I never really had much parental control when I was younger. I just pretty much did my own thing. I would walk down the street, I wouldn't ask for nothing. Like I never used to have to ask my dad, hey dad, can I go here? He would generally I would just go there, whatever, and unless I was going to a friend's house. But if I was just running down to the store, I don't know. My parents got divorced or whatever, so I wasn't used to it. But then my dad had invited me to come live with him and Nikki, or pretty much didn't invite me. I was told that I was to go live with him and Nikki. But I remember one time I walked down and I didn't tell them where I was going because they were busy doing something. And Nikki said, never do that again. Never walk away somewhere without telling her or asking her first. And I wasn't used to that. But I remember that when we first moved there. Civil War is big in Linden, and that's where I learned American history in 8th grade. I did the whole 8th grade. Mr. Brent Garrison taught me American history, and I learned a lot about the Civil War and American politics and history and all that. Here's the town hall. Me and my dad used to have a key for the town hall. I'm not sure if he does anymore, but he maybe. because he used to do some work in the town hall. And that, oh, no, 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 no. That's the courthouse. Yeah, he had the key, maybe still does, to the courthouse. And I remember going in the courthouse and nobody was in there and whatnot. And it was clean and all that. And it's much like the courthouse from To Kill a Mockingbird. That's another book we read in school when I went to school there. The Commodore Hotel. I remember, I think they do it annually. They block off this part here, and they have some singing and whatnot. And I was there for that. They had some musicians out, and this whole area was had like military vehicles and things out. There's the food giant. I've been there a couple times. I know there's a couple stories some of the local boys run with out there about when I was sitting on a bench over here and there was another guy, much older guy at the time compared to us, and he was trying to bust our chaps, but I replied back with something smart. And they have a restaurant in there that's pretty good too. Let's see. Yeah, lots of businesses in Linden. Even a car dealership. The First Bank. Here's the post office, the United States Post Office. That was before I started getting big into the actually that was when I first started getting big into the post office thing. I had ordered a mini skateboard or fingerboard from Flat Face Fingerboards in Massachusetts, or Berlin Wood, I believe it was, from Germany. I had started trading online and whatnot. Here's Lance's place and his father, I believe that is it not? The video corner, they call it something else now. I remember one time we were big into skateboarding. Kyle Reister was there, Lance, and I think maybe Austin or Dusty. And we went up here, and they had like some skateboard stuff up here, like some half pipes or a quarter pipe or whatever up there. And I'm sorry about highlighting this over and over and over again. It's kind of like doing that when I click. But they never used to have these. Home of the Vikings. Perry County Vikings. I remember the Perry County Vikings. Perry County Vikings, yeah. What else? Oh, I remember something in here. The mayor and some governors or something did a talk over on this property when I was there. Back in 2007, I believe it was. And also there was some other stuff that used to go on in this building. Job fairs and all types of stuff. And I know we're getting close to that hill or whatever, that infamous, it used to be an infamous hill, supposedly. Where are we? Now, I didn't live in town at that time. I lived out of town. What I would call the middle of nowhere, but it really wasn't, because it was a community all in its own. All right, and I would be clicking for a long time to get out to it. And I think I got to do wait, where am I? I don't even remember where I am. I think I'm going out of town now. Yeah, I'm going out of town now. Okay, but I think the way the town works... Oh, you know what? I'm over by Austin and Dusty's now, I think. There's that... no, that quite possibly isn't it. Yeah, that is it, I think. Yeah, it must be, because here is the... No, I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. This is where they sell deer feed and whatnot. And then you take a right here, and this used to be Austin and Dusty's. Over... I think Young Funeral Home or something to the left or whatever. I'm not sure, but I know it's over to this area, general area. It's in this general area. That's all I know. Because I remember this big lumber yard. I think you keep going. And I remember being all high on energy drinks one night on this road here with Austin and Dusty and his brother or whatever. And I don't know if Travis was there, but he should have been. Travis was mostly usually there, but I don't know if he was there. And then I remember Kyle Reister jumped, I think it was Kyle. He had jumped in the ditch or whatever and stabbed his foot impaled his foot or something. And, Austin and Dusty's older brother had passed away on this road, I believe, in an accident. And I don't know where it is, but it used to be on the left side here. Anyways, or I don't know where it is exactly. But I used to live on Cedar Creek Road. That's a road right here. All right. And they used to call it the Hollow, or actually in their terms, the Hauler. And see, I don't even think you can do a street view down there, over there. But yeah, used to live down here, eh? Right in the middle of nowhere, sort of. Oh, there's Hogs and Hillbillies Bar. That's my old property. That's me and my father's old property right here. All right. From about, it must have been, I think, right here, actually. No. It was before the tree line or whatever. This was somebody else's, and ours went all the way back to the river. All the way back to the Tennessee River. All right, this was Bob Lord's, and I used to watch his dog or feed his dogs every once in a while or whatever. No, this is Bob Lord's. Yeah, this is Bob Lord's. There's Bob Lord's. He has a cemetery in there and whatnot. And that kind of, oh yeah, there's his home there. And I remember walking up here. I used to walk all the way from my house because this was our other house. We owned two houses. All right, we had this house that we lived in, and then this much larger house. We also owned that house as well. And there was a girl that didn't know that. And she laughed at me one day and said that the one house was, I don't know what it was anyway, but I should have spoke up and invited her over. Anyways, I used to have to walk down here and walk all the way down here. And it was quite scary with this tree line here. And that's why my dad told me, bring your 22 with you when you're going up here just in case an animal gets you. And so then I started carrying my 22 with me. But I remember coming up here, and it looks see, this makes it look real humble. But it's a very large home, sort of. Not very large, but quite large. And I remember, or maybe I was just a kid and it looked very large, but I remember when I was a kid, I walked up and it was so vast. I stood right here. Bob Lord wasn't home. They were out. And I stood right about there from what I think he was, but who knows? Maybe he was watching me. And I stood right there and I remember looking over this vast field. And you can't see the tree line from what I remember. I couldn't really see the tree line over here. And that field seemed like it just went on and on. Now, I actually helped him originally till, oh my God, it looks like it's changed quite. Me and Cody this was a whole different, it looks like it's got grass on it now, but this was all tilled land at the time. We had to pull roots by hand out of the field there, or the tilled soil, back and forth, all the way across, all the way back, all the way across, all the way back, and put it in. Bob Lord sat on his four-wheeler with the trailer on the back, and we put it put the roots into the trailer. And I remember when I returned back to my dad, I had dirt all over me, head to toe. I was dirty, work like I looked like a dirty workman. And my dad was so proud when I returned back to him that I was starting to work. And my dad never understood that I worked just as hard as this now, and I used to, but he always thought I was up to no good. But no, I worked just as hard as this, but on the computer. That's when I learned work ethic. Now everybody can't do what I do, but I remember when I worked for Bob Lord, and I came back with those clothes, and when I said, I better learn how to do something. Right? But it taught me a lot about how hard you got to work. And Bob Ward paid me really good, actually. He would pay me, I remember when he gave me the money, $20, $40, and all that. And I don't know where that money went, actually. I think it got, now, I don't know, okay? I'm not going to blame anybody. I don't remember spending that money on anything good. I think it went to rent or whatever I had to pay my dad. But, yeah, because I think that money went missing. Now that I remember. And a lot of things went missing. My brother had bought me some clothes and they went missing. Okay, my PS3 went missing. My handboard went missing. My computer went missing. My dad said he had my computer, but he wouldn't send it up to me in Canada. He said, they don't let you send computers in the mail. This was back in 2008. But you can buy computers on eBay. You can send computers in the mail. So that's the kind of stuff I dealt with my father. This could have been my home right here, but he wanted to turn it into Hogs and Hillbillies Bar, which is not bad. It's a nice bar, and I hear people, it's went to different owners, and they're doing well with it. But this originally was, he had told me he made the verbal offering and agreement that this was supposed to be my home. He said, Tom, that home next door is yours. But it never ended up to be or whatever. We used to live right here. My dad made that sign, I believe. Okay, and he also built the bar, the original bar. But it's doing well now with the new owners and whatnot. And I've never been. But my dad used to say, oh, we wish you were here. You could have been a bodyguard. But no, Dad, you know I couldn't have been. But here's the old property. Lots of people enjoying the old property. It's now became a town staple. Or a Cedar Creek staple. I remember pulling this truck out of the ground. Me and my father pulled this truck out of the ground. I can't remember where it would be because I was so young I didn't know the town logistics, but I remember me and my father pulling this one out of the ground. Towed it right out of the soil. What's this? Looks like they have an electronic jukebox and stuff in there. Looks cool. Anyways, yeah, that's the old stomping ground. One other story I can say, well, there's a lot of stories from the cats. There was my stepmom's cats got their butt bit off by some dogs. Lasher got killed, and I remember Nikki coming up screaming, Lasher got killed, and all that. And I remember Rue, we used to have a cat named Rue, he got his butt bit off, and his whole butt was hanging off. And I remember a snake, a big snake attacked my dog. I was on the computer, I heard my dog bark, and I said, uh-oh. I go out and look, there's a gigantic snake right over here. So I went back in, grabbed my .22, and I obliterated that snake. And I remember that, and I put the snake's remains over here. And when my dad got home, I said, Dad, there was something that happened. And he said, what? And I said, well, there was a snake that started attacking Sandy, our dog, so I had to shoot it. He said, no, you didn't. I said, yeah, I do. The remains are over here. Right, or yeah, I did. And I brought him over to the remains of the big snake, and it was in pieces and whatnot. And he said, Tom, if you do that again, throw the god darn remains over on Frank's property. And he and he picked up the remains of the snake and he threw it over on Frank's remaining property over here. And you know what he also used to do? He used to pick up all the dog shit or dog poop. There used to be Sandy used to poop right here, take big, gigantic dog poops all over. And he used to grab the shovel and just pick it up and throw it right at their trailer. They had a trailer right here, but no one was there. And he used to just throw the god darn poop right into their land or whatever, instead of put it in a garbage bag. And I used to have to oh shoot. I used to have to what the heck, I can't even move. Anyways, I used to have to mow the lawn over here. It was a large property, but thankfully we had a riding lawn mower. Here's our neighbor's property. He had a really nice sniper, this guy, because I remember one time we were out shooting and I caught a glance of his scope. He was making sure everything was going all right. All right. And then buddy over here, I can't remember his name. They had a four-wheeler and all that. And then a lady from school used to live here, an assistant. I don't know what she does nowadays. And here's a small church. Unfortunately, you can't see it or whatever. And the list goes on and on, all right? The list goes on and on. Here's Cody Bertram's old place, or the Bertram family, the one Bertram family. And et cetera, et cetera. And then, where is it? Here it is, the Cedar Grove Iron Furnace. I remember Kyle Reister broke his arm over here skateboarding, but this is an old bomb furnace. Or not bomb, sorry for using that word. What is it again? Cannonball. This is an old furnace that they used to manufacture cannonballs during the Civil War. And then there's also a really cool, you wouldn't be able to see it here, caverns in a cave. And I went in it sort of over here. It's like an underground cave right there. And I wouldn't go down in it. It's quite dangerous, I'd say. You know, and somebody said to me, those aren't mountains, they're hills. But what's up with this cave? Because usually caves are inside mountains, are they not? So, but I guess they are hills or whatever. And I remember when they made a convenience store all the way at the end of Cedar Creek over here, because you would have to go all the way in town. And it's far from town. It's a real long distance, as you see. There it is, Marsh Creek Store. My dad, every once in a while, would grab me a Mountain Dew from there. And he would have cigarettes. He would buy cigarettes. And we even went here for dinner one night, and they had a whole bunch of billy goats and all that over on Marsh Creek Road in Cedar Creek. I think that covers it all. And I think if you go this way on Marsh, and then you turn right here on Marsh Creek Road, yeah, then you hit U.S. Highway 412. And then you turn left here, and you go down Highway 1, or I guess it's Highway 100 or U.S. Highway 412. And you keep going. And my old friend Kyle Reister, I believe, used to live over in where it must have been. I don't know. We went camping in this area. Oh, yeah, it must be. Rogers Group, River Sand and Gravel. Sorry, I'm just figuring it out at the same time. Here it is. Fat Man's Key Stop. Yeah, so I'm right. You go down Highway 412. And there was my friend Kyle Reister's house right here. It must have been. Yep, there it is right there. There is Kyle Reister's my friend's old house. All right. Now it looks like this was the old house, and I used to stay over here every once in a while. And we went camping down here, and there's a taxidermy place down here too. And I've always thought if I ever come upon money or have some extra money where I want to buy something, I would order something taxidermied from there and have it shipped up to Canada. But yeah, we used to hang out there, and that was the first time I ever seen marijuana was over here, and the first time I had sex uh, with Kyle's sister, Chantel or Chandel.